Welcome everyone to Project Cars 2. This will be coming out very shortly, September 22. Brought to you by Slightly Mad Studios, a very eagerly awaited title. So just having a quick look through, I'll run you through the menus quickly. We have obviously Career, Quick Play, Community, My Profile, Options and some extras. First place you'll probably want to go is into the options so we can have a look at setting up the game ready for you to play. We have the audio option here. I've just got the menu music turned down a little bit, but all your general sounds in here you can adjust. Setting up the gameplay, your steering or braking assistance if you use these, driving assistance from authentic, off, authentic or full. I leave these on authentic, so what's in the car is what I get. You can set up your damage type, visual, performance impact. So these will be, a lot of these things will be actual familiar from Project Cars 1. One of the new ones is the Penalties and Rules. I think that was in there, usually for multiplayer. There's a lot more in-depth going into that. Manual pit stop. So this is one of the options a lot of people will be excited about, actually having the ability to control driving in and out of the pit lane and in and out of your pit box completely manually. You need to set up, or be wise to set up, a pit speed limiter for those cars that actually have it. Obviously road cars don't have it, so you'll need to control the speed yourself. Pit stop cinematic cameras. When you actually drive into the pits and you're going through your pit change. If you have this off, you'll just stay in the car and things will get changed around you. If you turn this to on, as you pull into your pit box, you'll actually jump out of the car and you'll get an external view of all the work being done on your car, and then when it's ready you'll hop back in, it'll automatically pop you back in when you drive out. There is a manual cool down lap option, so at the end of the race, instead of the race just the AI taking over as you cross the finish line, now you can have the option to manually control the car completely back to the pits. There's the on-screen guides, obviously the race engineer, and we have a new one, the spotter. For those from Project Cars 1 may be familiar with the Crew Chief app, and that was a great little development there. I just can't remember the guy's name right at the moment off my head. Deserves a lot of credit for developing a great app there. That's been included into Project Cars 2, so you'll have someone there who can actually tell you when people are beside you. It's also a proximity indicator, so little arrows will pop up on the side telling you when someone's beside you. Pit stop visual cue. When you're driving down the pits and you have a lot of pit crews there, it might be a little bit hard to actually find which yours is, so we'll have a little a marker in your pit box so you know which is yours. Obviously just pick your units, metric or imperial. Just flicking back through here, we also have visual effects. We also have your camera view, so you can set up your camera view. I generally race in VR these days, so this doesn't affect me, but you can set these up for yourself. And also the world movement, the car camera shaking. Setting up your controls, so you pick your wheel type or what you're driving with, the configuration, any dead zones that you want to set for your pedals or wheel, edit the assignments for vehicle, any assistance you have, any camera views you want, anything else like cycling through the Motec or the HUD displays you can choose. This will be a new one. People force feedback, always been curious about what they're going to do with this. Project Cars 1 was quite a complicated system. They've actually simplified it quite a bit to 3 settings: informative, immersive and raw. And what these basically are, and there's a custom setting. Custom setting, I think you have a bit more options you can get in and change exactly what you want. There's probably a bit more information on that I need to cycle through myself. There's so much stuff in here. I've been trying to keep up with it. It's been 2 years of having fun watching the game develop, and it's become to a really exciting. But basically reading through these if I read through these for you, it's a bit hard to read on the screen. Immersive force feedback It replicates the feel of road surfaces, curbs, tyres, slip, weight and suspension movements felt through the steering wheel and as experienced in the real world. You have informative, designed to give more of a detailed feedback on road surfaces, curbs, tyres, slip, weight and suspension movements. And then raw, which is what I tend to drive in, is unfiltered force feedback, allowing you to feel the full strength of the various forces felt by drivers. And then here you can actually slightly customise the gain, the volume, the tone and the effects that are coming through for those on wheel in particular. Probably also partly through controller. I don't play with a controller, so I can't comment too much on that side of things. There is your performance then for setting up how well your computer performs. Probably a lot of these settings might be missing from the console versions, or a bit restricted because they're a bit more restricted in their graphics cards. I'm running a 1080 Ti, so some of these things here I'm not running right up at ultra versions, because even though I'm running a 1080 Ti in VR, it's pushing it really quite hard, and it's kind of critical to keep the frame rate up there so I don't get too much of a stutter. But on a screen you can probably run everything here at ultra for high-end cards, or adjust it for whatever video card you get on your personal computer. And then, as I said, the audio here before we adjust. So flicking back through career, start yourself a new career, which would be quite familiar. It has a similar feel to Project Cars 1. It doesn't have the big calendar system. I'll have a bit of do another video and have a bit more of a look at that as we get further into that. Quick play. For those people who just want to jump in, you can set yourself up a custom race, private testing, browse online races. There won't be anyone here ready at the moment because we're only relying on members themselves who are here, usually setting up their own races, organising time together. This will be the screen where it will pop up. You can create your own online event. So from your host settings, create your own lobby name, password protected. Obviously this is a PC version, private or public. There's a broadcast option, so people can jump in and actually broadcast the race. Pop back out of here. Where are we? Realism settings. So this is what you can control in race. Any like your brakes, collisions, damage type, any pit stop errors. So yes, they might still drop their lug nuts and they might have a clutch crack on you, fall apart on you. You can control if there's going to be manual pit stops, if there's going to be force a cool down lap, fuel depletion. That's a new option. I need to have a look into there myself. So I haven't done much in the way of multiplayer. I actually haven't done anything really, because there hasn't been a lot around, but that'll be something we'll be getting into over the next couple of months, catching up with some people. You can set your opponents. Now, depending on the car class and the track and the type of racing you're doing, this may be limited up to a total of 31 opponents apart from yourself. Fill with AI, opponent skill level. So this is for your AI. We have two sliders now. There is the opponent or the AI skill level from 0% right the way up to, for those who want to have their ego destroyed, 120%. So that's for the AI skill, but also we have aggression, so whether they're going to be quite cautious going in and out of corners or quite aggressive in defending their corners. So so one will affect their speed or how well they drive, and the other one will affect how aggressive they'll defend. Then there's obviously identical, same class. We can set up multi-classes, which I'll go a bit more depth to in just a minute. Rules and regulations, which you can set up in here for penalties. The penalty system's changed. It's not the cut a corner and get an instant 5-second, 10-second slowdown. Menu, a little words will pop up on the screen which will tell you that you have a certain amount of time to actually slow up and give back the time, or even give back the places if you've cut somebody off. Drive-through penalties. So if you get penalised, like a 15-second penalty somewhere, you may end up having to go through the pit lane. There's a pit exit penalty. So coming out of the pit lane, you need to make sure you stay within the lines when you're exiting the pit lane. And then there's also a licence system, which will be more information coming on that. Alright, so we'll just pop back out of here. Back. Alright, now we'll just have a look at a custom race. And these are the options you have setting up here, which I can go through a bit more in detail. So you can select your vehicle, and here are all your vehicles on the left, and I've just got the Lotus here clicked up for the moment. And then from the Lotus, then you can pick different models of Lotus. You can select your livery. There's a showroom to have a quick look at your car. I think I've got my VR headset on, so you can't see it unless I go and pick it up. Well, right, I'll just pop back down on the ground. Select my car, select, and then we have the racetracks. And the list of cars and the list of tracks are actually up on the Project Cars website itself at the moment. So people can go there and actually have a look at what tracks they have. You can roll through your tracks here. The different types of tracks all shown here in 3D, so it's actually showing the heights of the tracks. A good one is example. So if you have a look at Sugo here, here's your low point of your track, right up to the high point of the track, so you can actually see the elevation of the track while you're going through it. Here we have the race settings. You can pick from time, or how many laps you want to do, set a default date or choose your own depending on the circuit. Date, session time. Now I'll show you something in a sec, but we've got up here a 5 o'clock start session time, so you can set time progression from real time right the way to off and 60 times. Set your seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, and we have a snow season. This only comes up depending on the track, because some tracks won't get snow, obviously, even in winter time. Alright, yeah, sorry, we carry on. Got some weather slots, up to 4 weather slots. You can pick your different weather from sunshine, snow, blizzard, storms, right the way through to sunny. Weather progression, if you set it for duration, as in a timed race, each session is 1 hour long, just like Project Cars 1. Probably wasn't explained too well, but that's what it is. But you can speed it up to actually fit those sessions in. So if you pick times 2, each session you fit 2 sessions into an hour. So they'll be half hour long. That's how you adjust that. If you go laps, all 4 sessions will be squeezed into the number of laps that you choose. While we're at the laps, you can actually go right the way up to, if you have enough time in your day or week, life, 999 laps. You would have to be a psycho, but they're out there. Choice of rolling start or a standing start. Also with a rolling start, you have a choice of doing a formation lap. So with a formation lap, you'll actually do a whole lap before the race starts, and then you'll form up while rolling and then start the race. And then there's also the option for a mandatory pit stop you can force, so people have to do that or not, depending on your choice. If you select, even though you've got this, yes, if you select a race based on time, this option is not available, but it is available for a set number of laps race. Now, you can also set practice and qualifying sessions. So setting a practice session and a qualifying session. Now, with the race time I showed you, I had the race starting at 5 o'clock. You can individually set each session. So the practice time, I can have a completely different time. Practice might be at 10 in the morning. Different duration. You can set how much weather, different weather slots. Same thing. Might be raining for a practice session, but it could be sunny come the race. Same thing with the qualifying. The qualifying session might be at, example, 2 in the afternoon where the race is later. And same thing, you have all these same options, so you can really customise what is going on in your race session. Same thing, set up your rules and regulations. Now, I showed you here number of AI that you can pick. And same thing here with your opponent's skill level and their aggression level. You can pick a multi-class race. In a multi-class race, you have a choice of up to 4 different classes. So that here, I'll check a few. At the moment I've only got the car that I jumped in, which is a Formula C. So as I can pick multi-class, I can pick how many sessions I want. Formula C, we might do a Formula D and a Formula B. There's 3 different cars. So the cars can only be picked from those sessions locked out in this session. So handy when coming to a multiplayer session when you're setting up your classes. Whereas prior, if you were setting up like a league-based race and you're relying on your members to have a bit of honesty in picking their correct classes, picking cars from certain classes, now you can lock out up to 4 classes and they can only pick from those classes. You also have some favourites. You might have some favourite race patterns you may have already set up, you've already done, or do like to do often. You also have motor pre-sport sets, where if you pick one of these here, the race will be set up ready for you, or the top cars set up for you. So, endurance, for example, you have the opponents are set up as GTE, LMP1 and LMP2. Still set up the rest of your event as you want, but the cars get locked out to cars of those classes only. So pick a car from that class, and then pick a livery, select, and start your event. Right, that's pretty much it for the moment. I think there's a lot more will be coming over the next couple of months as we really gear up for a release on September 22. Look forward to seeing you then.